Coming up, goods producers from Kazakhstan are expecting to conclude $100 million contracts during the annual China International Import Expo in Shanghai. Stay tuned. The share of views of Kazakh language content is growing rapidly. Prospects of domestic media development were discussed at the forum in Nur-Sultan. Walking along Yesil River and the lively streets of the old city. Find out what tourist routes did young Kazakh residents create in order to promote domestic tourism. Soon in our news digest. Kazakhstan registered 1,421 new cases of COVID-19 in the last 24 hours. Almaty again accounts for the highest single-day case count in the country, plus 198 infected. North Kazakhstan region is in the second place with 163 new positive cases of infection. Pavlodar region went down to the third place with 143 new coronavirus cases. Since the beginning of the pandemic, total COVID-19 cases in Kazakhstan have approached 946,000. According to the data from the country's health ministry, over 42,000 residents continue to receive treatment for COVID-19. Over 7,500 of them are in inpatient care. To date, more than 7,620,215 Kazakh citizens have been fully vaccinated against the virus with 2 doses. The US does not recommend its residents to travel to Belgium. The country was included in the list of European countries with a high risk of COVID-19 infection. Austria, Great Britain, Croatia, Greece, and the Baltic countries were also included. In the last week alone, the number of people infected with the Delta variant there has increased by almost 40%. We have seen a 37% increase in the COVID-19 infection rate in the last week throughout the country, and an 8% increase in Brussels. It's important to note that in the capital, the majority of patients admitted to hospitals are unvaccinated or partially vaccinated people, and all the patients in intensive care units are exclusively those who have not received a single dose of COVID-19 vaccines. I think that the local authorities should now make wearing of masks compulsory in Brussels downtown. Yesterday, in the city's central square, Grand Palace, there were a lot of people. I'm always for the rules that help protect against infection. The UK has officially approved the first coronavirus pill, Molnupiravir, developed by the US pharmaceutical company. According to Britain's Medicines and Health Products Regulatory Agency, the pill can be taken at home like a regular medicine. During clinical trials, the antiviral drug halved the risk of a severe form of the disease. It's worth remarking that the pill was originally developed to treat influenza, but it was later found to be effective against coronavirus as well. By mid-November, 480,000 units of the antiviral drug will be delivered to the UK. It will be available to all British residents, regardless of whether they were vaccinated or not. According to the manufacturers, in order to be most effective, the pill must be taken in the early stages of the disease, within 5 days of the onset of symptoms. 5 new petrochemical plants will open in Kazakhstan in the next 4 years. The country's Minister of National Economy, Aset Irgaliyev, told about their commissioning by 2025 at a press briefing. According to him, this will increase production volume from 40,000 to 2 million tons. The share of imports will decrease from 87 to 72%. However, exports of domestic products abroad can increase 9-fold. In addition, there are plans to increase the share of enterprises using digital technologies in the manufacturing industry from 7 to 23%, Irgaliyev said. In 2025, 418 industrial projects will be implemented and more than 11 trillion tenge of investments in fixed assets will be attracted. As a result, the production volume of the manufacturing industry will grow 1.5 times compared to the level of 2020. As part of the development of the petrochemical complex, large, high-tech petrochemical plants will be commissioned. This will be done to increase non-resource exports and domestic demand. The gates of the Chinese market. 30 largest manufacturers of Kazakhstan participate in the annual exhibition of imported goods in Shanghai. They are expected to enter into contracts for the supply of food and agricultural products worth more than $100 million. At the same time, most companies participate in the online format due to the pandemic. Only their products are presented at the expo, and the negotiations will be held by special representatives.
Китайский рынок и китайские власти очень ревностно относятся к собственному рынку.
The Chinese market and their authorities are scrupulous when it comes to their own market. They always check very seriously the products that are sent to China. But our products have passed all the tests, passed all the necessary certification, to which the Chinese market pays a lot of attention.
Сертификацию, которой очень много внимания уделяют именно китайский рынок.
For instance, this Kazakh plant is exporting up to 70% of its products. They are sold across Central Asia, Russia, and even Afghanistan. Up to 40,000 tons of finished goods are produced here a year. The company hopes to enter the Chinese market as well.
У нас очень обширный ассортимент, где
We have a very wide range of products. A Chinese consumer can find something suitable and interesting for himself. You know, the Chinese taste, they love very spicy food and rich tastes of the Pan-Asian cuisine. But now there appears to be the need for European tastes. We can give it to them.
С европейским вкусом. Это мы им можем дать.
Over the 4 years of the exhibition, the amount of agreements concluded here between Kazakhstan and China has surpassed the $500 million mark. In addition to food products, our country intends to offer its own digital solutions. The exhibition will end on November 10th. The share of viewers of Kazakh language content in Kazakhstan is rapidly increasing. At present, domestic TV channels are rating in the top 10 foreign and Kazakh channels in the country's media market. Kazakh Minister of Information and Social Development, Aida Balayeva, announced this at the Forum of Kazakh language content makers. She noted that this fact is primarily indicative of the competitiveness of domestic television products. QAZFORUM is held this year for the 5th time. Traditionally, it involves the participation of experts, journalists, editors, and bloggers. This time, over 400 participants registered for the event to talk about trends in Kazakh language media.
We think that media, of course, is really at the cornerstone of any strongly functioning democracy. So you want to be looking at native media and making sure that that media is strong, is professional, and it knows how to sort of compete in the media market. It's very exciting for us to be able to assist, as the U.S. Embassy, this kind of local Kazakhstani expertise.
The forum also included an exhibition of photographs popular on social media. Thus, its visitors can learn the real authors of the content circulating in the domestic media space. Promotion of tourism and cultural heritage. The developers of the 12 best tourist routes were awarded in Kazakhstan as part of the Youth and Heritage Project. 178 teams and UNESCO clubs aged 16 to 29 years from 14 regions of Kazakhstan, Nur-Sultan, Almaty, and Shymkent took part in the competition. They learned about drawing up tourist routes, creating audio and video guides, as well as deepened their knowledge of the cultural and natural heritage of Kazakhstan. In the practical part of the project, the teams had to draw up a route, write up the information about destination points, and make a map. With the help of mentors, they further improved their projects. 12 works reached the final.
Бізде қазір туристік бағытта приложение қосымша жасалып жатыр. Әзірше атауы жоқ. Бір айдың ішінде.
We are currently developing a mobile application with tourist routes. It has no name yet. We expect it to be ready within a month. It will include all 60 routes originally created within the project. The language of the routes will be as they were presented. Some were made in Kazakh, while some were made in Russian. 35 routes are completed from start to finish. We will add all 35 routes to the application. We expect to present the application close to December 16th, the 30th anniversary of Kazakhstan's independence.
Өздеріңіз білесіздер, Қазақстанның тәуелсіздігіне 30 жыл, соған орай қосымшаны халыққа таныстырамыз деп ойлаймыз.
Among the winners is the tourist route Walking Along Yesil. According to the developers, it will be of interest to both foreign tourists and local residents. Walking along this path, participants will not only see the beautiful places in the capital, but also listen to city stories, and even be able to set a record for the number of steps taken per day.
первоначальная точка у нас была от пирамиды, то есть Дворца мира и согласия, и вот по набережной, через центральный парк, там немножко республика.
Our starting point was from the pyramid, that is, from the Palace of Peace and Reconciliation, and further along the riverbank. Through Central Park, we see the Republic Street a little, and then we come to a point on the Siroyan pedestrian bridge. We decided not to fill our audio guide with a lot of facts and figures, and decided to make it a little more alternative, because we have a freestyle, like a podcast. At a certain point, songs go one after another, that is, a little radio.
Подкаст, вот, и есть в одном моменте такое, когда просто идут песни друг за другом, то есть немножко радио.
As part of the project, information on new tourist routes will be translated into foreign languages, and they will be available for foreign tourists, even online. Back to the origins. How did the formation of professional fine arts in Kazakhstan take place? Domestic artists tried to answer this question in their new exhibition. The Graphics and Sculpture Hall has opened in the National Museum of Kazakhstan, which will now work on a permanent basis. It showcases detailed dynamics of the professional school of fine arts in the country, from the beginning to the present time. Here, people can see the works of such artists as Yevgeny Sidorkin, Asgat Denikeyev, Uka Aziev, and many other eminent professionals. The unique graphic and sculptural works from the National Museum served as the basis for the creation of the exposition. The collection of monuments of the history of fine arts tells visitors not only about the main stages of art formation in the country, which actively developed in different periods, but also about various styles and techniques conveyed on paper and through sculptural materials.
Это долгожданная выставка. Впервые у нас открывается зал скульптуры и графики. Графика – это древнейший...
This is a long-awaited exhibition. For the first time, we have a sculpture and graphics hall. Graphics is the oldest art. In antiquity, as you know, there were petroglyphs, rock paintings. There are many distinguished works. We have a lot of masters, a lot of artists who work in the graphics technique. And the younger generation will come, they will know, show, and this is very informative.
Приходить молодое поколение, будут знать, показывать. И очень как бы полезно.
An exhibition of drawings by young Kazakh artists dedicated to environmental problems was presented at the UN Climate Change Conference. The exposition was recognized as the best art event. This year, the event is held in the Scottish city of Glasgow and touches upon the problems of climate change.
Все работы были посвящены основной теме – это экология.
All works were devoted to the main topic, ecology, as well as the environment. All works are very touching, and it's very impressive that children from the age of 8 to 17 have so much knowledge about the world's problems. It was very impressive. At the very end of the whole conference, the results were summed up, and I was chosen as the most creative delegate of all the delegates that were there, which were more than 3,000.
И меня выбрали как самого креативного делегата из всех делегатов, которые там были, а там их было больше 3000.
Diana and Sofia are school students from Almaty. They learned about the forum from social networks and then received an invitation. Diana intends to present a report on the unique nature reserves of Kazakhstan. In addition, our compatriot organized a masterclass designed to encourage participants to take care of the environment. Diana suggests putting pictures on masks.
Можно на маске нарисовать синий
A
океан.
blue ocean can be drawn on a mask and some lids, candy wrappers. We can show the world through the photos of our masks that people pollute the ocean, and I really care about this problem.
И я очень забочусь об этой проблеме.
The Youth Forum at the UN Climate Change Conference has been held for 16 years. The goal is to convey the official proposals of the younger generation to the representatives of the largest international organization. Following the forum, a program document will be prepared, which will be sent for discussion to world leaders.